Hey everyone, it's me, and the Game Nerd here, and even though I'm actually just a couple days late, I just got around seeing Hunter x Hunter 2011, episode 135, and where do I even begin? To start things off, I honest to God, think this is anime episode of the year material, like if there's like such a thing as that. This is my opinion. Out this entire 6 months of the year, every anime I've seen, this is by far the best episode, not only for Hunter x Hunter, but just any anime I've seen this year. Just mainly because of the developments between Meruem and Komugi. Like, I'll state this right here. Togodshi, not only can he write some really fucking awesome villains, like going back to Yu Yu Hakusho, Shinsui, Toguro, and Hunter x Hunter, Hisoka, Kuroro, and motherfucking Meruem, but can also write a good romance. Look at Yusuke and Keiko from Yu Yu Hakusho, and Meruem and Komugi from Hunter x Hunter's Chimera Ant arc. And also this review, like, I'm going to not really talk about some of the aspects of the episode itself, like I'll pretty much mostly just be talking about Komugi's and Meruem's friendship, and I won't go like into depth of the symbolism that King of Lightning pointed out in his review, like on how more so like how much symbolism there was with Meruem's death, like his name, on how dark it was when he was dying, and yet what his name means, and how bright it was when we saw him die, and how it relates to his name. And then there was the whole thing with Komugi's and Meruem's game, and I'm like, yeah, I just had my fucking mind blown. And I'm like, Togodshi, there's a reason why I call you Togodshi. And also, props to fucking Madhouse. You handled Meruem's death beautifully. In fact, you got his death scene when Komugi's holding Meruem's body nearly fucking identical to the manga. The only really key difference is a little less blood. You guys got it fucking identical. So yeah. And alright. But also some other aspects I want to talk about. But first, I want to tell this little story. Like, back when I first got into Hunter x Hunter. Now, it was a year ago when I caught to the manga. Initially, my favorite arc was Yorknu, even after reading the Chimera Ant arc. Watching the anime and thinking about more and more, and even rereading the endings of the Chimera Ant arc a couple times, Chimera Ant may not just be my favorite Hunter x Hunter arc, but it just might be my favorite arc in any anime or manga. It's that fucking good of an arc. But yeah. Also, I want to also discuss some other things about the Chimera Ant arc. Aside from, I'm going to try and get to them later, Komugi and Meruem's friendship. But I also want to discuss some of the symbolism of the arc. Like, roughly, the things about the human race and the Chimera Ants, which I find interesting. Now, it was stated like a couple episodes ago that that Palm said that we are just as bad, no, worse than the Chimera Ants. And the more I think about it, that is so fucking true. For starters, Chimera Ants, while we did see they had conflict in them, which I'll get into why I believe they had conflict within them, we also saw the fact that with humans, we fucking go to war, murder each other, steal from each other, rape each other just about every fucking day of our entire existence. And yeah, with the Chimera Ants, even before the Queen died, they felt more functional, more built as a society and working together than a lot of times the humans are. And yet, as we even see the fact that when the Queen started to give birth to Chimera Ants after she ate humans, the more and more chimera ants started becoming like humans, on how they just became even more monstrous than ever. Because before they were acting on their internal instincts, like the way they were from birth, but now they have the knowledge of humans, like pretty much as smart or smarter than us, and not to mention they have all the nin abilities and abilities they're born with. So that right there shows the fact that while chimera ants, in my opinion, themselves, like without the human traits as a race, they are not as messed up as humans are. But yet, if you combine both the humans and chimera ants, they're actually they could be potentially more dangerous than any of us. But yeah, that could just be, that's probably obvious though. And how the fact that this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, but in the next episode, we start seeing the fact that chimera ants are going to try and start living among humans, including like that little girl from the beginning of the arc, which, look, I'm forgetting that brother and sister's name. The one that the brother that was overprotective of the queen, like, fuck, that got rebirthed as that chimera ant. I'm forgetting their names, but this is a spoiler. We see the fact that she's actually, that the sister's a chimera ant, and she manages to find her way home. And the ending to the arc with Meruem's death just symbolizes so much on how the fact that it's possible for species like the chimera ants and humans to live together, by looking at Meruem's romance with Kagome, on how they essentially, like, Meruem, he knew he was dead. He was a dead man walking. He knew he was gonna die, and he was like, I want to spend the last moments with the only person I've ever cared about. That's essentially was it for Meruem. To the point to where he would even like go down, bow to Palm, and he was going to probably say, please, just help me fulfill my dying wish to be with Kagome. He, like, early on in the arc, Meruem would never bow down to anyone. He'd be like, bitch, you're bowing down to me. And this just shows on how Kagome, I probably just keep changing the pronunciation of her name multiple times throughout this field, which goddamn, but yeah, you guys know the point. On how Kagome, she is arguably probably one of the, no, she is definitely, no argument there, one of the most important things of the arc. Arguably the most important, at least when it comes to Meruem. And wow, just, while I admit I didn't cry as much as, I didn't really cry that much, mainly because I already read the manga and I've read the ending multiple times, but goddamn, the feels came in a lot more than I did with the manga, which I'm just gonna blame that with Togodashi's art. Like, the build up to how we would see Meruem die, like towards the end of the episode, was done so much more in the anime. Like, as I said before, King of Lightning, in his review of this episode, he broke it down, brought all the symbolisms in on how Meruem's name is, like, I believe, like an area that's light that brights in darkness or something like that, and yet we see on how we only get a little bit of light when we see throughout that entire scene. And fuck yeah! Wow, I'm starting to run out of things to talk about. And yeah, wow, I'm almost going at 9 minutes, so yeah, I should probably go in this video before I fanboy even more. But yeah, overall, Hunter x Hunter, episode 135, a phenomenal ending to a beautiful, no wait, was about to screw up my words there. It is a beautiful ending to a phenomenal arc. The symbolism, the romance between Meruem and Kagome, it is a beautiful ending to a dark arc. And there's no better way to describe it. This is probably, Meruem might actually now be my top 2 anime manga films. Like, Sensui from Yu Yu Hakusho and Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are easily my top 3. And Meruem, like, but I will admit this, Meruem is probably the best written one of the 3. And keep this in mind, to show you how good Togashi is with villains. What series is Sensui from? Yu Yu Hakusho. And who created Yu Yu Hakusho? Exactly, Togodshi. So yeah. But enough of this rambling. I've been going on at this for about 10 minutes. And yeah, overall, phenomenal episode of Hunter x Hunter. What are you guys' thoughts on it? Give me it down below. Did you catch any other symbolisms I didn't see or heard about? Like, tell me them down below. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you're crazy, you probably actually hate it, or you were a heartless bastard. And yeah, anyways, I'm a Game Nerd signing out.